You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White sports fans, we're going to be talking about the Tokyo Olympics again and Raven Saunders. We put up a video on her yesterday. She actually won a silver medal at the shot put in the Olympics. Now, the talking point wasn't actually her actually winning the silver. She won the silver. You know, that's great. She won the silver. But the talking point was what she did on the podium. And what she did on the podium, guys, was protested. And that is a clear violation of IOC rule number 50. Now, guys, I told you yesterday in the video that I don't have any confidence in the IOC actually doing anything about this. But however, guys, the IOC is actually investigating her protests on the podium. Now, to me, that really isn't much of an investigation. She violated Rule 50 as clear as day. You know, she even came out and told you what she was actually doing. She threw up her arms in the nets to protest and represent oppressed people coming together in the middle, violating Rule number 50. This investigation should be pretty short, but are they actually still going to do anything about this? And also, Raven Saunders has actually clapped back at the IOC investigating in a tweet. I mean, she believes this is pretty much a joke. So let's dive into this, guys. Let's check this out here on Fox News. Raven Saunders' gesture gets support from USOPC. Athlete challenges IOC to take medal. So she's out there on Twitter, and we're going to show you the tweet here, challenging the IOC to take a medal. And guys, I believe that any athlete that protests on the podium and violates Rule 50 should have their medal stripped away. But however, the IOC doesn't actually specify what the penalty is. I believe they actually should have came out with solid rules that aren't open to debate. If you protest, if you violate Rule 50, then you will lose your medal. But let's go ahead. Let's check this out, guys. Raven Saunders' gesture during the shot put medal ceremony at the Tokyo Olympics, quote, was respectful of her competitors and did not violate our rules related to demonstration, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee said Monday. What? It didn't violate the rules? Guys, it's clear as day. IOC Rule 50 says you cannot protest on the podium. She did that. So how did it not actually violate the rules? This doesn't make any sense, but let's move on. The USOPC said it was in discussion with the IOC and World Athletics, which governs the sport, over the gesture. IOC spokesman Mark Adams told reporters Monday the organization was in contact with the USOPC over the gesture. Quote, as with all delegations, Team USA is governed by the Olympic Charter and rules set forth by the IOC for Tokyo 2020, the USOPC said in a statement via Reuters. Per the USOPC's delegation terms, the USOPC conducted its own review and determined that Raven Saunders' peaceful expression in support of racial and social justice that happened at the conclusion of the ceremony was respectful of her competitors and did not violate our rules related to demonstration, close quote. But it was still a protest. You are not allowed to protest anything on the podium. I mean, the USOPC, they're trying to protect Raven Saunders, but the IOC has rules in place. It goes on, it says the IOC had relaxed some of its rules regarding protests and political gestures at the Olympics, but still barred demonstrations during medal ceremonies. The USOPC said it would not sanction athletes who demonstrated on the podium. Well, that's you, the USOPC, but the IOC put the rules in place, and this was a clear violation. However, guys, Raven Saunders clapped back and even challenged the IOC to come and take her medal. She put this out on Twitter. She says, let them try and take this medal. I'm running across the border. even though I can't swim, with a laughing, crying emoji. She thinks this is a joke. If the IOC strips her of her medal, what is she going to say then? I already know what's going to happen, man. The race card is going to be played. The mainstream media is backing Raven Saunders because, the mainstream media does not care about the rules. It is all about a narrative. She clearly violated the rules. She knew this herself, and I'm pretty sure that the USOPC even knows this is a rules violation. They know that. She knows that. But they're going to have the mainstream media backing them on this. So that's why I'm still not sure the IOC will actually end up punishing her at the end of the day, even though it's a clear violation of Rule 50. Why make rules if you don't enforce the rules? Why make rules if you don't have penalties for rule violations? But we'll have to see what actually happens here. We have to see what happens. I mean, this is going to end up being probably a PR nightmare for the IOC because the mainstream media is going to back any type of social justice protests, even if it violates any type of rules. We know that, guys. We know that. She was on the podium with her hands in the air, throwing up nets, violating Rule 50, but the mainstream media is silent. And the USOPC is trying to protect her as well. But Mr. Bach, who is actually in charge of the IOC, you need to do your job. I mean, if you don't penalize her in some kind of way for doing a protest on the podium, you have just opened up Pandora's box. You're basically saying, we have the rules, but we're not going to enforce the rules. We're just going to let you get away with this. And I believe that sets a very, very bad precedent for future Olympics. I really, really do. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, Raven Saunders basically threatening the IOC. Hey, come and try to take my medal. But what if she actually does end up losing the medal? Something's telling me nothing's going to happen still. I'm going to stick by my guns with this. This actually just may end up being a sham investigation because it is clear as day Raven Saunders violated IOC Rule 50 by protesting on the podium. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.